everyone, Joshua Myers here, and welcome back to my Friday the 13th franchise review series, and today we're going to continue onward to Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter from 1984.
Jason is back. 3 times before, you have felt the terror, known the madness, lived the horror. But this is the one you've been screaming for. Because Friday, April 13th, will be Jason's unlucky day. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, rated R.
Friday the 13th Part 4 stars Crispin Glover, Kimberly Beck, Barbara Howard, Eric Anderson, Corey Feldman, Alan Hayes, and is directed by Joe Hoffman and Joseph Zito. The plot of Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is that after the Crystal Lake massacres, Jason is pronounced dead and taken to the hospital morgue, where he's mysteriously revived, allowing his diabolical killing spree to continue at the camp, where the gruesome slaughtering began. But this time, in addition to terrifying teenagers, he meets a young boy named Tommy Jarvis, who has a special talent for horror masks and makeup, leading up to a horrifying, bloody battle that will keep you on the edge of your seat. And this time, the diabolical Jason Voorhees finally met his end. Now, before I get into the rest of my review, I would like to say this was a first time watch. I've never seen Part 4, the final chapter. And I know it's weird. I've seen most of the other Friday the 13th films, but this one I've never seen. I don't know why. I don't. It's just weird. I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably could see all you people in the comments section being like, how has he not seen Friday the 13th Part 4? It's probably one of the better Friday the 13th movies out there. And you have not seen that film? So yeah, I've never seen Part 4. This is a first time watch, but now I watched it and I am reviewing it, so let's just dive into my thoughts. I will say, compared to the other, like the previous two, I actually do like the characters in this far more. Honestly, I think this has probably some of the best characters in the franchise. Like, in regards to a whole group of characters in that, I actually really, like, more so in specific, I really like the Jarvis family, and I like, Rob, actually. Is it Rob or Rod? I don't know. I really like those characters in that. You know, I like the family dynamic with the Jarvis family. I like the mother. I also like the character of Trish. I also like Tommy Jarvis, who was portrayed by young Corey Feldman. I think this might have been his first movie, actually. And they were all really good actors in this, actually. Probably some of the better actors in this franchise. So yeah, I really cared for these characters, like this specific group of characters and that. Like the main ones you're supposed to focus on and everything. I also like the fact, just like when I started watching this, and the first thing you see is at the, like, basically picking right up where the third one ended and that, and you see like helicopters and stuff like that. I'm like, man, Friday the 13th got a visual budget increase, like visual increase actually. This is probably one of the better looking Friday the 13th movies, actually. I mean, I honestly think out of the original 4, this one is probably the best looking of them, which I was kind of surprised by. I also really think, actually, these are probably my personal favorite practical effects work done in the franchise. Thankfully, Tom Savini came back to work on the practical effects makeup for this one. He worked on the original film. Now he worked on Part 4, and honestly, you could tell. If you compare the makeup effects of within Part 2 and 3 to Part 1 and 4, you see a difference in quality. And honestly, it's great to have Tom Savini back in the makeup chair, if you will, like working on the makeup and that. And like, not only are the gore effects done pretty well, but also the look of Jason is done really well, actually. Even how they axe off Jason is done really cool. Like, I just love the effects work that Tom Savini did in this movie. It's probably the film that has my favorite effects work in any of the franchise so far. Also, I really dig the pacing of this film. This movie clocks in at 1 hour and 32 minutes, and honestly, I don't really feel that. Like, I mean, it's not too fast to where you... but it is not slow either. I didn't feel bored watching this one at all. But honestly, for me, that's where the real positives stop. Like, stuff that I absolutely love with this movie. I do have some things I'm rather mixed on, so let's move right into them. I actually do, because this film starts off with a recap again. But it's a little bit different. It not only recaps the previous film, part 3, but also recaps all the first 3 Friday the 13th movies. And I think I like that better than what they did in part 3, recapping the events of part 2. Because first of all, it recaps every single previous film, since this was meant to be the final film in the franchise, so I kind of get that. And not that too, you know how I said I think the recap of during the opening part 3 should have been cut down to a minute or 2 minutes tops? The recap in part 4 is about 2 minutes, so that's just the kind of perfect spot I wanted a recap. Like, if you're going to do a recap anyway, so I'm glad that in this weird way they kind of listened to my advice with that. I mean, to be fair, these movies came out way before I was born, so, but it almost feels like that, you know, that they listened to some of my advice from the previous movies. I'm just going to say it, because there's another set of characters, like a whole another group in that, and on the one hand, there were some characters I did like within that group. I actually did like Crispin Glover's character, and he did have a likable presence to him and everything. Some of the other characters did, you know, like I didn't hate any of these characters, but they were just, a lot of these were just bland, forgettable characters that you could give two shits about, really. They're just basically there as cannon fodder for Jason to come in and kill. Nothing more. And that's kind of disappointing to me, you know, because there were some of these characters I could see having potential to be, you know, like, really likable characters and stuff like that. Like, again, Crispin Glover as an example. I did like him enough, but he just ended up becoming a disposable character. Okay, another thing I'm mixed on is the music by Harry Manfredini. Now, while I do still think this type of music is iconic, it's still, there's not much different. The most different we got so far in with this franchise for the music is the main title theme for Friday the 13th Part 3. You don't really got much that in here at all. It's just basically the same type of music. I kind of wish eventually you would do something different, but it's fine. It's serviceable. I mean, I still like the classic themes and stuff like that, so that's good. I mean, it's okay. But honestly, for me, that's it with the things I'm rather mixed on. So let's move on to my negatives. Honestly, for me, I don't think I have any real negatives, like stuff that I absolutely hated in this movie, so let's move on to my rating. So with that said, I'm going to give Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, for me, it's a little bit better than okay. Now, here's the thing, there's some stuff I absolutely love in this movie. And probably is, out of the first 4 Friday the 13th films, this is probably the best one out of them, actually. My problem is what really holds this film down from being like a 4 for me or something like that. Honestly, this film was not going to get a 5, you know? I just knew it. It wasn't going to get a 5 out of 5. But it could have gotten a 4 at the most. But yeah, like, what really boggled this film down is the side characters, like the Group B characters, you know, that... Well, there were some personalities I did like Crispin Glover and stuff like that. These all just ended up being disposable characters that you don't even give a crap about at the end of the movie. And other than that, I really do like the story of this one better. I like the Group A characters, like the Jarvis family and Rob. You know, I like all of them. I also really like Ted White's portrayal of Jason Voorhees. I like him better than Richard Brooker, and I like him better than the actor in Part 2, Warrington Gillette. I like Ted White better than Warrington Gillette and Richard Brooker. He gives off much more of an intimidating presence in that. And there was no point that I ever felt like he was a bumbling idiot in this one. He was just downright intimidating, and plus the makeup effects that Tom Savini did with his face and everything, amazing. Like, I love the effects in this. So there were some good stuff and this is probably so far my highest rated Friday the 13th film so far, and probably my favorite so far. I don't know, we still got like 7 movies left in this franchise for me to cover. The reason I say 7 is because I already reviewed Freddy vs. Jason, and that's more of a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. So yeah, I covered that with my Nightmare on Elm Street review series. Now so you're not going to see Freddy vs. Jason in this franchise review series because I already reviewed that. So I can't tell you how much I do end up really liking this movie. There's just some issues I think that kind of boggle it down to where I can't give it a higher rating than what I gave it. If those issues weren't there, then yeah, this would have been a 4 out of 5 star movie for sure. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.